Welcome back to another episode of On a Mission. I'm your host, Dr. Wendy Norfleet with Norfleet Integrated Solutions, and it's my pleasure to have with me Sarah Phillips with International Freight Transport. Welcome, Sarah.
Thank you. I'm so happy and honored to be here. Thank you for asking me.
Oh, thank you for coming. Yeah. So, Sarah, International Freight Transport, we all know that logistics and transportation is still more male-dominated.
Right.
So what got you in this? Tell me a little bit about your background.
Oh my goodness. Well, my kids, they got a little bit older, and I was a stay-at-home mom for years, and I decided to go back to school and get my degree, and I graduated last year with my degree, bachelor's degree in logistics. So IFT was the first company that hired me right out of school, and I'm so blessed and thankful that they gave me such wonderful opportunities working there.
That's great. And so you handle everything from, you know, like if I come to you and tell you I need this shipment shipped overseas, you would be someone that can handle this.
Yes. Yes, we handle shipments from point A to point Z, all in between, and it's we handle global shipments, so anything from truckers, shipping lines, agents overseas, all of that good stuff.
Wow.
Right.
So recently you were written up in a good way.
Right.
Okay. Let me just say that.
Yes.
Written up in a good way. So tell us a little bit about that.
So they featured me in their newsletter last month because we handled a shipment. We shipped 21 rail cars from Milwaukee to Nigeria, and it was the largest shipment that IFT handled, and I was the only operations person behind it, and I was so thankful that they gave me that opportunity. And it was a huge juggling act, and getting those rail cars from Milwaukee that required 21 different truckers, getting moffies from the shipping line. And when all of the rail cars got there to Georgia, we shipped out of Savannah, Georgia. They didn't have the right dimensions. The manufacturer didn't give us the right dimensions of the shipment, so I had to reposition 15 different moffies from around the U.S. to get there. But we made the ship, and the train is now, the full train is now in Nigeria, and it's going to be a big part of their transportation plan over there. So
wow. So you have to just touch a lot of different countries, a lot of different people's lives with what you do, and we don't think about that, but to get goods and, you know, services over there to them or to anybody, even here, that's a big deal.
It is, and I think it requires a lot of seeking to understand your customer, and because it's not just about the shipment. And with IFT, they are very personable with their customer base, and it's about knowing your customer, what do they want to get from the transaction, and offering them multiple choices, and just being able to relate and understand, and communication is such a big part of it. And being a good communicator dealing with anybody really in life. Right.
But it's also a lot of research.
Yes.
Because we all know that, you know, if you travel different countries, even different states have different, you know, rules and regulations, and you have to follow them.
That's so true. And it required different truckers getting different licenses and all of that to accommodate the weight. They needed different licenses to ensure that they met weight requirements, because they're going through several different states from Milwaukee to Savannah. And then thankfully it was a direct shipment from Savannah to Nigeria. And then once it gets to Nigeria, then there's different agents over there and clearing the cargo and customs documentation and just so many factors involved.
So that means you're really good at juggling. So obviously having a family and having the kids really helped out, right?
It does.
And I tell people that all the time. I said, you know what, if you have kids, you're a great project manager. You're great at operations.
Right. I am. And I am very detail oriented, and, you know, almost a little bit to the OCD level. So I never thought my OCD would come in handy, but it does in this business, because there's lots of spreadsheets and lots of moving parts, and being able to communicate not only with your trucker, but your CEO of a company.
Right.
You know, so it's different styles of communication. And, you know, I also have a special needs daughter who teaches me a lot about, you know, thinking outside the box.
And communicating well, because they make you think about what you're saying.
Right. It's like, every person requires a different kind of communication. So.
Wow, that's great. So if someone had, you know, interest in, you know, getting large transport shipments, and they wanted to reach out to the company, IFT.
IFT.
How would they do that?
Well, we have a website. It's called www.ift.com. And Thomas Cruzen is the vice president there. And I'm so thankful. He gave me so many opportunities right out of school. And they're usually hiring. And if they want, we ship anything. We ship for Florida Natural Growers, which is the orange juice company here in Florida, all the way to big companies like Weiler Forestry. And we ship a lot of out-of-gauge cargo, off-dimensional. So we basically handle any kind of cargo, whether it's container shipping or out-of-gauge cargo, ro-ro shipping, and all of that good stuff. Okay. And it's a local company too, so it's good to support the local companies.
That's great. Yes. Thank you so much for sharing this, because I know a lot of people probably didn't even know exactly, because when we talk about transport, a lot of times people think of trucks or something like that, and there's so much more.
There is so much more. Yes.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Wendy. Thank you for having me here.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for joining us, and to learn more about international freight transport, go to www.ift.com, and I'll see you next time on Buzz TV.